raise your hand. So I just posted in the chat. You all can see that. And so we'll get started. Let me start sharing my screen so you can see here. I'm going to show you all some of what I do real quick to let you know what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute everyone on here too. Okay. And then you can always put your microphone back on if you have any questions. So let me share my screen. So my company, JN Training, I've been teaching computer classes since 2015. And here are the computer classes we instruct. We also instruct Introduction to Six Sigma. Charlie Nathan teaches this. And we have a special from now to the end of the year where at your company, at your organization, you can send as many people as you want online for each session for online live training. And it's one low price. The 4-hour classes are $1,000. So this Six Sigma is a DMAIC example. I know a lot of you are into Six Sigma. Some of you are in process improvement, and some of you have black belts in Six Sigma. And in that case, for some of you, I think you might like the PMP exam preparation, a 5-day class. You can send as many people as you want. This is online, or we come to you on site. This class includes paper workbooks. So this class is limited to 15 people online or on site at this price. And it's a 5-day program, a 35-hour program to get you ready for the PMP exam preparation. And some other classes I instruct personally is the Foundation Excel. It's a beginning Excel class to get started. It's one of the most popular classes we have is Microsoft Excel. And you get a PDF workbook with all these computer classes. There's pivot tables and so charts, pivot tables, all in a 4-hour class online. And next week, I'm teaching an example of this class, just a sample of this. It's a sample of the advanced formula class. And this is going to be from 10 to 11 Eastern time next Thursday, the 20th. 10 to 11 a.m. It's just a 1-hour free class, and that's on Eventbrite. And I'll share my Eventbrite with you all. So here's my Eventbrite. I'll post this into the chat so you all can sign up for all of these classes. Here's the advanced Excel formula where I'm going to show you how to do if statements, named ranges. I'm also going to show you VLOOKUP and the new XLOOKUP next week, next Thursday from 10 to 11. Let me go ahead and post that into the chat. Just 1 second here. Oh, and Cynthia, you asked about PDF training. We have that too. Just get in contact with me. That's like I was showing you. That's a great question, Cynthia. Thank you. I also instruct I instruct all these computer classes, the Adobe Pro DC. This is what we're in. This is what you're seeing here, Adobe Pro DC, where I show you how to make these hyperlinks where you can click on these titles and takes you to a different page in the document. I show you how to move around into different pages quickly, how to insert hyperlinks, pictures, and that's just a 4-hour class, $1,000, where anyone at FEMA, the whole organization can attend this for one low price for this 4-hour session. So great question. Okay, now, and if you all want these outlines that I showed you here, just send me an email. Send me an email and I'll send you an outline of all these classes. And let me put in my contact information in the chat so you have that. Post in here, put it in my name, phone number, email, website in here. You all just save this information, please. Go ahead and click on those free classes, sign up. And I'm also posting in next week's free class. There'll be even more people in this class next week. Let me post that into here. Okay, that's going into the chat right there. Okay, let's get started up with File Explorer. You all excited to learn how to make your jobs quicker or what? So with File Explorer, I'm going to show you all the easiest ways. I'm going to teach you these shortcuts, and I'll send you these the Windows shortcuts. You just send me an email and ask me, please send the shortcuts, and I'll send them to you. And to get into File Explorer, you all use File Explorer, right? I mean, everyone uses that. That's how you get into your files. That's how you move files around, how you delete files, how you find files. So the quickest way to get into File Explorer is to press the Windows key on your keyboard and then E for Explorer. So Windows E. Just press it on the keyboard and then you see it open up in a different window here. Let me do that again so you can see. Now I have this on this window. So again, Windows E. And there it is. So you all can take notes. Everyone get a pen and paper next to you. Do you all have a pen and paper there? And start writing down some of these notes. Like that's the window. It looks like a window on your keyboard. You press that, hold it down, tap the E key for Explorer, and this comes up. So when this opens, you can see, I'll just go to desktop, for example. These are all folders and files on the desktop. On the left, it's called the navigation bar. So I have JN Training pinned to the quick access bar here. Do you all see the little pins there? It's pinned down. Let's say this 2020 rosters. I'm going to pin that to this bar. What I would do is just right click. So what I'm doing is I'm pinning folders here that I either use a lot, number one, or number two, that are hard to find these folders. So let's just pin this one down and pin to quick access. So you right click, again, that's right click and pin or unpin from quick access toolbar. Now, let me show you what we're going to cover here today too, so you can see. So like I said, shortcuts, starting up with a File Explorer, searching documents, creating shortcuts so you can find these folders easily, making another File Explorer, organizing your file locations like a boss, organizing windows, copying, moving files, making new files like a pro, renaming files, and then viewing details and filtering your files. So let me show you another way to open up the File Explorer. One shortcut to close any window you're on is Alt F4. You hold down Alt, so Alt, then tap the F4 key. So I'm doing that now, Alt F4, and that just went away. So another way to bring up the File Explorer is to press the Windows key and type File Explorer like that. Just press Enter and it opens up. But you could see that Windows E saves you a few seconds. If you do this every day, it'll save you a lot of time. Another quick way to keep the File Explorer on your computer is just right click on that the icon at the bottom. So it's right click and pin to taskbar. So right click and pin to taskbar. Now when I close the File Explorer, you see it stays on your taskbar. So if you use that every day, you can keep that down there. Just click on it and it'll open up. There we go. Okay, so, well, actually, I clicked on it twice. Okay, now you can see how many have open. I click on it, just have one window open. Now, let me show you a way to let me make this smaller so you can see this. So to make two windows, so another File Explorer, this works with any program on the computer, is Control N for November, or Control N as a new. So Control N, and that brings up another File Explorer window. Okay, a duplicate, Control N. And do you all have any questions? You can post the questions. Cynthia asked, well, I'm using a PC. So I am working from a PC, if that's your question, Cynthia. And so if you have questions, just write them down and I'll save time at the end for questions. Okay, I'll save 10 minutes or so at the end for any questions too. But again, if you're welcome to take yourself off of mute and ask a question as I'm going, or if you want to especially if you want to see that again, or I'll show you again at the end also. Okay, so that's Control N. Are you all writing these down? And like I said, just send me an email at jnathan@jncomputertraining.com and say that you want these shortcuts and outlines, and I'll send them to you. All I ask you is that you just ask your HR manager and training managers for more training, and let your coworkers know where you learned this from. So here's another shortcut. Let's say I want to put these two File Explorer windows side by side. The quick way to do that is just click on this top bar, click and drag, and then press it against the window like that and let go. And then ask which window would I like on the right. You see that on the right? These other windows I have open. And I just click on it. And there they are, side by side. So this is how I move folders. This is how I move files from one folder to another. Excuse me. Is I have the just like reading a book, I have the files on the left, this left side, and I would drag those into another folder on the right. So just drag and drop. But let me show you another way, another few ways to do this. Let me just open up the desktop. I'm going to show you some other shortcuts since that's the main thing I want to teach you all. So let me look and see what file I want to duplicate easily in here. So one way that I do this is to sort by date modified. To find files, I sort by date modified at the top. So these shortcut keys, I want to duplicate that file in here. To do that, I hold down the Control key, just hold the Control key down. Then I'm going to click on that file and drag it and let go, and you'll see a duplicate file. So first I click on it. So that's the first step. If you want to write these notes down for these instructions, go ahead and write these down. This is how you make a copy real quick of a file. You just click on it first. Now I'm going to hold down the Control key and I'm going to click on that file and drag it over to the right. You see it says copy to desktop. I'm in the desktop folder. I'm going to make a copy in the same folder, and you'll see the name will be shortcuts -copy. So I'm going to let go, and it'll be at the top for August 3rd. Let me do date modified for the top again. Right there, it's at the very top. There it is. Okay, any questions with that? How easy was that? Just hold down Control, click, drag, let go. Everyone got that? So that's the copy. Let me go ahead and open these so you can see that. I'll open one of these, the shortcuts. So I'm using Microsoft 365. Some of you may be using Microsoft 365. Some of you may be using Microsoft or Office 2016 or 2010 or 2019, but this is Microsoft 365 is what I'm using. Maybe some of you are using that. So here's the shortcuts. You can copy and paste items. I'll show you how to do that too. Let's do it. So I'm going to do Alt F4 to close that window. And it doesn't ask me to save it because I didn't make any changes. So to copy and paste, let's just let's say we use this one. I click on a file, Control C to copy. Click in the white area on the side here, and then Control V to paste. And then we should see copy to. There's copy to. Any questions on that? Control C, Control V. Do y'all use those shortcuts? You can use those shortcuts anywhere for folders, for files, for any of this. What do y'all think? You all excited already? Learning some shortcuts? So that's how you copy and paste. You can also cut, Control X and paste. Like I said, at the end, you can ask any other questions on doing those. And now let's see what's next on the agenda here. Now let me show you how to search for documents easily. But first, I want to show you how to make a shortcut to a document. And to do that, here's what I'll do. So I'm going to make a shortcut. Let me go back to my desktop folder. Let's just say, for example, well, these are all on the desktop. Let me find something that's not on the desktop here. Let me search for a folder to use. So let's say I want to do, let me just bring this up. Okay, let's say I want to make, for example, this marketing folder. You know, the reason you would do a shortcut is to try to find a folder that's maybe difficult to find. So we're going to put the shortcut on the desktop. Here's how you do that. Just right click on the folder and click on Create Shortcut. And then I'll do Type. So I'm clicking on Type at the top. And I just scroll down to look for shortcuts here. There it is, Marketing Shortcut. And to do that, so I just minimize everything. I take that shortcut and I drag it to the desktop. I move it to the desktop. There it is. So now, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the desktop for examples, but let's say right here is the marketing shortcut. You just click on that and it brings you into that exact same marketing folder. That's what the little symbol means. Like for instance, I did that with this conferences outlines. So I open that. Let me just click on that. Right there, it brings me to conferences outline folder. See, it's under JN Training in the documents under this PC. So another thing is, let me see if so that's how to make a shortcut. Any questions on that? You can ask, you can put those into the chat and we'll get to them in a second. So that's how to make a shortcut. So again, how to do that is you right click on a folder. Let me do that again here. Like this foundation folder, right click on the folder, create a shortcut. It creates a shortcut. Well, right there, it created the shortcut on the desktop. See that foundation shortcut right here. So I can delete that folder or delete that shortcut. That was just for example, delete the shortcut. Let me do that again. Right click, create a shortcut. I think this can save you all a lot of time because watch, let me just click on that foundation shortcut. It opens up the foundation folder. When I click in there, I can see the address, C:users, Jeremy desktop foundation. And it's exactly the same as if I click on this regular foundation folder, click in the address bar and see C:users, Jeremy desktop foundation. It opens the same exact thing. It's just a shortcut to take you there. And I'm gonna delete that. Okay, any questions with that, with the shortcut? Now, like I was saying, if I hover down here at the bottom of these File Explorer and I have 3 different File Explorers open, I can close one like this and I just have 2 open. You see how I did that with the red X? You see when I'm hovering over these, I see a preview of what's coming up on the screen. So the conferences outline, I click on this. So let me show you all, this is a really good tip on how to see where all these, do you all ever have trouble finding a folder that's 20 folders deep? Here's a quick way to get to that. Just click in the top, right in here. This is the address bar. Click in there, select this all, or do Control A, Control C, and then you can paste that into here. I call this addresses, locations, file path. It's called a file path. And here I'll just do Control V to paste. And maybe I'll call this outlines like that. So outlines. I also have other, so I put in here file paths that I have trouble finding, like the Power BI report server. You know, sometime if I can't find that, I can just put in that. When I find it, I just copy and put that in here. And but you can see once you have this file path, all you got to do is copy this, copy that, go down to the search box, Control V to paste, press enter on your keyboard, and you'll see that folder open right there. The folder opened. What do y'all think? Pretty cool, huh? Some other shortcuts as I'm thinking of them. Let me open these both up. Let's say I'm moving between the desktop and this conferences outlines. I'll make them both big so you can see. This is called switching between windows, which is Alt-Tab. So right now you see conferences outlines. If I'm going to hold down Alt, I'm going to tap the Tab key, and it'll switch to the other window. So that's Alt-Tab. Now you see desktop, Alt-Tab, conferences outlines, Alt-Tab. You just go back and forth. If you hold down Alt and press the Tab, see, now I can bring up the Microsoft Teams here, or any window. Right there, I'm going to let go and the outlines will come up. So let go, there's the outlines. So that's Alt, Tab. You'll write these shortcuts down. Go ahead and email me, ask me for the shortcuts. I'll send them to you. So I'll go back to the locations on this computer. Okay, now let me show you some cool shortcuts on opening programs. Let me do this. So here, to open a program, I'm going to just bring up a File Explorer and go to the address bar, delete that address, and let's say I want to open up Power BI. I just type Power BI and press enter. So let me maybe give it a minute. So right here, it's bringing up, it wants to open up that, it looks like it searched for Power BI. Let me try this again with Excel. So Excel, let me go back. Let me go back. On the left, I'm going to go to this PC. So I'm going to make sure it's on this PC. You see it on the left, you have this PC, you have your drives. So like for example, on the top, I'm going to type in Excel and press enter. Well, this has everything that documents with Excel. I'll have to see why that's not working. But let me show you another. Here's another way to put a shortcut on the desktop. Do you all ever open a program and sometimes you have trouble finding the program? Well, here's the easy way to find a program. Type on the search here at the bottom, or just press your Windows key on your keyboard, Windows key, and type Excel. And then you can you see how it says app, you press enter. So same if I search, well, you see Excel coming up. See, when I search and I type Power BI, right there, Power BI app, that comes up. You just click on it. Like for example, here was that Excel that opened. I can click on blank workbook, or I can do Control O for open to see all the recent documents. So I know I'm going kind of fast. We just have an hour here. I'm showing you everything, everything you can do. This is just 1 hour of what you can do. I also teach a 4-hour class in the File Explorer that goes into more detail, gives you time to work on these also. So again, let's say I want to put that Power BI desktop on that application on the background. Like you see Microsoft Teams, we're in Teams here. I have Visual Studio here, Windows PowerShell, Adobe Acrobat DC is on the desktop, and I can do that for Power BI or any program this way by clicking on search, type in Power BI, and just click on that app and drag it to the desktop. Let me do that again. So one way to do, sometimes it doesn't let you do that on a search. Like here, I'm trying to click and drag, but what I could do is I'll do this. So click on this, when you click in search, or actually click on the Windows key here, go to all your programs. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Power BI. Right here, Microsoft Power BI Desktop. There's the desktop right there, that program. Then I click on that and just drag it. You see how it says link, and I drag that to the desktop. There it is, Power BI Desktop application. I can do that for any program. That's the start button. I can do that for Word. Click on Word, just drag that to the desktop. See, then there's the Word application. When I click on it, it opens up that blank Word document. See how quick that is? What do y'all think? You like some of these shortcuts or what? So I can do that with anything. Firefox, click, drag the link. There's Firefox. Click on here. Let me see if we have any comments. Well, Cynthia asks, what is the quickest way to find a file if you can't remember where it's found? Okay, I'll show you the search here in a sec. Oh, from Internet Explorer. Well, Cynthia, what do you mean finding a file from Internet Explorer?
Can you find it from the search box?
Well, what search box did you say again?
At the top box of the Internet.
Oh yeah.
White space.
Okay, of the File Explorer, inside the File Explorer, right?
Yeah. File Explorer,
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show you how to do that.
Yeah, I mean File Explorer. I didn't mean Internet Explorer.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. I'll show you how to do that. Just give me 1 second. So again, that's how. So I want to make sure y'all see. That's how you take a program, and programs that are hard to find. That's easy. You click on that program, just drag it onto your desktop there. A calculator, calendar, anything. Okay. So here's how you search in here. So let's say I want to search in this outlines folder. So on the right is that search, like this is what Cynthia was talking about, is the search right here. Here's my other recent searches. I could just click on the word and then click, or you could type it in. But that's, if you search for it before, that's really quick. Now, what you all are looking at is Windows 10. If some of you are on Windows 8 or Windows 7, or I don't know what the other numbers are, but this is Windows 10, and this File Explorer is kind of the newer File Explorer. Now, let me do that again. Let me close this search. Here's how you close the search, right there at the X. So, like Cynthia was saying, how do you find a file that you can't find? We could search for a document here. Like, let me show you. Let me minimize this just so you can see. I'm going to this search. You see it says type here to search, and I can just type outline. So right there I typed outline, and this brings up everything from newest to oldest that has like, look at the conference outlines are on the top, because I got in there today, August 13th, 2020, right in there. Last time it was modified. And same new outlines, I was in there today also. That's how you search for a word in a document. Okay, or this is how you can search. This searches on your computer when you type in here at the bottom. So this doesn't show all the results, but it shows quick results, especially if something you get into every day. This will find that easily. Now, like Cynthia was asking, well, how do I find, how can she find a file but doesn't know where it's at? Well, you could go to documents here. So I went to documents, or go to this PC. I'm going all the way to the beginning, or you can search in a drive, C drive, T drive, Z drive, V drive. Click on the drive and search for it. And go back to the chat. So like, okay, Richard, good question. Is there a quick way to find files and folders stored on other drives? Great question. Well, like I was saying here, just click on that C drive or the D drive or V or T or Z. Click on the drive. Like here, I'll click on the C drive. And then I'm going to search here for outline. So I typed outline. I'm going to click the orange arrow to the right. And you'll see all the outlines from newest to oldest. So this takes more time because like Cynthia and Richard were saying, look, I'm going to search in a whole drive. I don't know what folder it's in. This is going to take a few seconds. So the bigger the drive, the longer this search is going to take. But if it's important, you can search for this. You can minimize this. And let's say we want to work on something else. You know, I'm going to a different application. I'm working while that's searching because I just don't want to sit there and stare at the screen. Just, you know, looking through, you know, doing other work here. And then let me do Alt Tab to go back to see how that search is doing. Still going. Alt Tab, excuse me. So Alt Tab, go back. work on something else. You know, you're working, you're typing up a program here, and Alt Tab, you know, to go back to check. So it's almost done. You can see, got a few more seconds. So you're asking some great questions. So it's searching this whole drive. You're going to see all of that come up here. So like Cynthia, if you ask from Windows search is faster, well, this is searching this whole C drive. When I clicked on this Windows search down here and typed outline, it doesn't show me all the results. It just shows me the main results. I mean, it just shows a few things, but I have way more outlines on the C drive than what it shows here. So that's a good question. This shows a quick search. If you're in a program every day and you can't remember where that program is saved, you can just search for the name here and it should come up towards the top because you were in there yesterday, the day before yesterday. It'll be in there even if you can never remember where it's saved at. But like I said, once you know where something is saved, you can copy that file path and save it in your file path list for the future. So this is still going, still going. Let's see, any other questions while, like Cynthia says, yes, with restrictions from administrator. And like I was showing you all, some of these things I'm showing you, you all may not have access to. You may not have access to every drive. Just for example, if you don't have access to a network drive, you can't search in there. So it's still searching. It looks like it's got to go all the way to the right to that end, almost there. But I'm going to show you all some other search criteria, how to refine your search by kind, by size, date modified, that this will really help make it easier. But first, this is just the basic search. Type in the name, press and search. So I do this all the time. Do you all do this? Type in the name to find something in there. See if we have any other questions in here. Right, like Cynthia, you're asking, Windows is limited opposed to searching the whole drive. You can also search in OneDrive, but yes, I teach a 4-hour OneDrive class, but you can search in your OneDrive folder. Great question. So Cynthia, sounds like you're using Microsoft 365 if you're using OneDrive on some of these other applications. So while this is going, let me show you what's next. Let's see what else is next on the agenda. We can come back to the search. So the organizing windows, I showed you how to do that, which is just clicking on that window, any window you're on, drag it over to the left, and then click on what you want to see on the right. And copying, moving files, that's where you hold down Control, move. So it's Control, click, and drag. Okay, now let me show you how to rename a file. Well, there's also I'll show you making new files here in a second. Let me show you renaming. So let me minimize this. So you can rename a file that you don't have open. Let me close. I'm closing Excel here. So let's say this copy here, right here, this file, I want to change that name. I have this file here, the Excel file, which is also a copy. I have copy 2. To edit any file, you just press F2, the F2 key on your keyboard. So F2, and then I use my arrows, left and the right key to move, and backspace, and like maybe in the top I'll put all. So all, press enter. That changes that file. You cannot change a file name that you have open. If you do a file save as, that makes another file. But this, let me show you that on the desktop. Let me bring this up on the left desktop. And that's how you change the name of so the same if you're on the desktop or in this folder here, the desktop folder, if I want to change a name, here's what I would do. Like for example, just click in here, F2 on your keyboard, right arrow to get to the end, and I'll say, I'll put in the date 2020-8/13, enter. Okay, any questions with that? That's called the F2 key. To the right F1, you press F2, and it gets you into renaming that. Now, just got to be careful. Look, escape will get out of that. F2 gets in there, but you got to be careful that you just don't backspace. You know, if you lose the whole name, you got to press escape. It'll come back to what it had before. So again, so if I'm typing and I said, you know, this is the wrong name. I said, oh, I didn't want to name it that. Just press escape. It gives you what was in there before. Okay, any question on the F2 escape keys? And here, let me open the shortcuts again so you can see those. So you can see how long this takes to search in a whole network. A whole network drive, it takes forever. So I'm going to stop this search. It'll take forever. So it's better if you know what area that file is saved in. So for example, if you're in accounting, you go to the accounting folder. If you know you're looking for a file from August, you go to accounting, then you go to August, and then you search down inside as far into the folders as you can find. Does that make sense to everybody? That if I search on that whole network drive for invoices, I'll see invoices from every year on that whole drive. But if I'm looking for this year, I'd click on the 2020 folder and then search up there. Okay, so now let me show you how to search for, let me just show you on, let me bring up another search to show you some other search examples. So I'm looking for the shortcut folder, which is type shortcuts of this. Let me show you. So I'm gonna just go to file type because I want to see the shortcut folder that I'm looking for. Here's all the shortcuts. It says shortcut. You see that shortcut? I can only say that one time in a row. There's all the shortcuts. So I'm looking for the conferences outlines. I'm going to search in there. Do you see how when this file type, you just click on that, puts all those file types together, like Word, 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 and I can make that wider at the top to see that. So I want to search in this conferences outline. Click in there. That goes into Jan Training, conferences outlines, and I can search in there. So for example, I search for Word outline, press enter. Brings up everything with Word outline. But let's say I want to bring up only Word outline. So go to the top, kind at the top, and I can do document here. I can do advanced options. Let's just do kind of document. Press search again on the right. This is bringing up all the documents. I can search by size, like empty ones. There's no empty ones. You see it's on the right, it says outline, kind, document, size, empty. Okay, there's no empty ones. Maybe it's a gigantic file greater than 4 gigabytes. Click on that. Working out no matches there. Okay, there's none in there. You can look for the huge documents. They have this listed here. Large documents. You know, maybe these are ways to help you find. Maybe they're I'll click on small. So small documents, and there they are. So that's any questions on that. You see how there's kind. I can search for calendar. I can search for folders only. So, but I have all of these other criteria. Let me just delete this. To delete that criteria, I just click on close search. It closes search, brings back everything in the outlines. Let's say I want to search for folders in here. So I click on the search. You have to type in a name. Like, let me show you on desktop. Let me go to desktop on the left. And I want to search for foundation. So foundation, and press enter. and it's going to search in the desktop folder here for foundation. So this all foundation, but let's say I just want to see the folders. So I click on kind, folder, right there, kind, folder. And now here, just folders in here. Okay, so only the folders. Any questions on that? Kind, like you can search for movies, music, email, documents. More than likely, you're gonna, most of what you use is gonna be a document or folders, which are documents inside of folders in here. Okay. You can also search by date modified. Let's click on today and search. So check that out. I search for folders, the foundation. So I'm looking, first you type in a word like sales, invoices, inventory. So let me do that all again so you can see. So I typed in the word foundation, and then I went up here, kind, and I typed folder. So then it found you foundation folders. And then I went over here, did date modified today. And right there, this foundation that I worked on today. Any question on that? Is that pretty cool? Where you can just search for any kind of date modified. You can look at yesterday. Did I work on, see it says no matches because I didn't work on any foundation folders yesterday. What about this year? So this year, yep, worked on that one this year. What about last year? So it didn't work on any last year, just that one this year, the same folder. Any questions on that? What do you all think? Let me see if you have any questions about, Cynthia says, you don't see the search option at the top. You only have 3 tabs, home, share, and view. Okay, so home, well, you only see that search option when you start to search. So great question, Cynthia. Thank you for your participation, working on this, trying this out. Watch, when I close the search tab goes away. I got to click in the search, and I have to search for something to bring that tab back up. I can type in anything like in here, Power BI, and hit find. So right there, now you see the search tab come up at the top. Okay, did that work, Cynthia? Did you try that out? We have that in there now. Okay, now we can see other properties too. But I get into more of these details, these advanced options, and other advanced classes, or in the full class, I go through every single option. So let's look at, let me show you all how, let's say we found let's look at this Miami location. Let's search for that so you can see, because I want to see where that's saved. You know, I'm searching in a folder that has a bunch of subfolders. So I type in Miami, click next to search. So this Miami locations, I'm thinking, okay, where is this saved? So I right click on that file because I found it, because I searched for it, and I go to properties. You can, so this is pretty cool. Like I said, I go into more detail in this, in the full File Explorer class, the 4-hour File Explorer class for you and your coworkers. So here's that properties, and I can see right here, here's the location. I can copy this location just with my mouse, then Control C to copy. I go down to search and do Control V to paste, press enter, and it opens up that folder that has that Miami locations in there. What do you all think? Is that pretty cool or what? You just copy location. I can remember, I can paste that. Let's say, you know, I can never remember where that's located. You know, type in here Miami locations, Excel, file, Control V to paste, put it in here, Control S, save that. Now I can just copy that, paste it in search, boom, open up that folder, open up that file. What do you all think? Some pretty cool shortcuts here. Is this going to save you all time or what? Okay, some of you were looking for the search, right? You got to bring up the search to see the search tab at the top. So once you found that location, you can search again in that folder in this 4 append queries, and I can type in Miami here, search for that. There it is. So I can get into that folder, search in that subfolder. Okay, any questions on that? How to search in that subfolder? Now, let me see what else we had. Renaming files, copying, moving. Here's one, making new files like a pro. Let me show you that, how to make new files. All right, Cynthia, I'm glad you like that. Thanks. So make a new file in this. Let's say I go to the desktop. So I'm in the desktop folder here, in any folder, any subfolder, doesn't matter what folder you're in. See, the desktop folder is actually in the Jeremy, in my documents. See, if I press this up, it says up to Jeremy. So I go up, and that brings me, it brings me to the Jeremy documents there. If I click on desktop, brings me into the, any subfolder. Same if I go to in here, advanced Excel formulas class, click in here, right there. So I'm in the document. So at the top, it shows you right here where you're at. Click in there. I mean, this is a pro tip here. You just copy that file location. I hope you all have that memorized from this class today. So that's C users, Jeremy desktop, advanced Excel formulas. And then that's the folder we're in. See, advanced Excel formulas folder. So what I like to do is just hit this go back button. It's on the left, go back. You'll see that go back. I can also go forward, go back, go forward, go back, go forward. It's also Alt arrow. So if I hold down Alt left and Alt right, I can just hold down those shortcut keys to go to those back and forth. Any question with that, the go back, I use that all the time. That's the go back button. Okay, now I'm in the desktop. I'm going to show you how to make a new folder in here. So do you see this at the top, the home tab? Just click on new folder. You'll make a new blank folder right there at the bottom. Well, now it's going to the top because folders are at the top. And I can call this new example folder and press enter. Right there. So I can also put today's date in there. That's F2, right arrow. 20, or I could put in however you want to put the date, like 8/13/2020, and enter. There it is. Oh, when I hit enter, it opened that folder. So to remember, another way to go back is just click on that desktop. I can see at the top it says Jeremy desktop new example folder. I can just click on that desktop word, brings me back to the desktop. Here's that new folder. And that's the easiest way to do that, just this new folder button here, or Control Shift N. Let's do that, Control Shift N. You'll see a new folder come up, and I'll say another new folder and press enter. You can move one folder into another folder. To do that, let me do this by date modified at the top. Let me click on date modified again to see these in here. Okay, here they are. Another new folder and new example folder. They're right next to each other chronologically. So I can just put this another new folder inside. You see when I click and drag that, it moves it into there. It says move to new file folder, let go, and it's moving it. I can make sure it's in there by clicking in this folder. That folder's in there, and there's nothing in this folder. It says the folder's empty. So let me show you another way to do. Now remember, to make a shortcut, I right click on this, create a shortcut, drag that shortcut to the desktop. But let me show you another thing that's to show you how to do. When you click and drag a folder like this, look, when I click and drag it, it'll move it to the desktop. But if I want to make, let's say I want to make a copy of a document, I got to hold down Control and click and drag for it to copy to desktop. Now a copy of this folder, if I make a change to this folder here, right here, I'm making a change. I'm putting a new file in here. I'll show you that new folder. So I'll put in here the date. So I'm putting this new folder in here, okay? Now I know this is maybe getting kind of complicated, but this new folder, you can see at the top where it's at. This new example in here and here, these folders and these folders. But if I go to the desktop to this another new folder, it's not going to have a folder in there because that's just a copy. See, it says this folder is empty. It's not a copy. If you want to make a shortcut to that folder, you got to right click on the folder, create a shortcut. Okay. Now, some of you have seen when you click and drag from one location to another. Let me show you how to do that. So for example, this Miami locations. Usually when you, let me show you, see if I click on that, it'll move it to the desktop. So when you click, have you all done that? When you click and you don't know, is it going to copy or is it going to move? When you click on it and drag it, if it says move to desktop, oh, that's going to move it. Then I can just bring it to this bar to cancel that. Okay, that's how you cancel this. If I click, if I let go, it's going to move it. So, but if I go here and let go, it just cancels the move. Now to remember to make a copy, to always, this always works to make a copy, is hold down Control, click on that, and then it says, you see that says copy to desktop, and let go, and that makes a copy right there. Now this copy, so here's the deal, when you take one folder, and that file was located in, so this Miami file, see, it wasn't in the desktop, it was in the Power BI class. Do you see that? When you take a file and you copy it to another location, to a different folder, it doesn't say copy. It's just, but it's just a copy. They're two different files now. But when you copy a file in the same folder by Control and click and drag over, then it'll say dash copy when you make a copy inside the same folder. Okay, does that make sense to you all? How when you copy files and folders like that? Now let me see if there's anything else that we didn't go over here. Let me see. Oh, here's another thing, how to expand the ribbon is this. So you see how I can make this window bigger, smaller, just double click on that window. Double click on this top bar here. Double click to expand or contract it. Now, if I want to get rid of this bar to see more room, I just click on this little dash here. That gets rid of the ribbon. That's this little dot on the right. It's expand the ribbon or Control F1. So that's a little ribbon part. And at the top, you can also do undo. This is pretty cool. The undo, let me show you how that works real quick. So I'm going to go to the desktop, and I'm clicking on a file, and I'm going to press delete. And I'm like, oh no, you know, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to delete the keyboard shortcuts with today's date. So I just do Control Z to undo, and you'll see that file come back in here. So let me give that a minute on here. Let me search for date modified at the top, right there. So again, watch, this file right here, I press delete on the keyboard and it's gone. And then Control Z and it'll bring it back. There it is at the bottom, it brought it back. Control Z is go back, Control Y is redo, and I have that at the top. You just have to be careful about this because you could be undoing or redoing things that you just want to be real careful when you press these. You don't want to hold down Control and then just keep tapping undo and it'll go back a bunch of different steps. Okay, what questions do you all have? Okay, like Cynthia says, sometimes it says 2. Okay, great. Right, for a copy, sometimes it will say 2. Sometimes that's depending on how you made the copy of that document. So what other questions you all have? Any other questions here? You can turn your camera on. So your homework is to practice this stuff, practice this file explorer, practice this Control N to bring up a new window, Control Home takes you to the top of things. So that's your shortcut. Practice all these file explorer, practice searching. That's your homework. And also send me an email. I'll send you this outline here that shows everyone come to this class next Thursday from 10 to 11 Eastern time, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. where I'm going to show you some advanced formulas in Excel. I'm sure a lot of you use Excel. And Brenda says, What do the arrows do the same as Control Z? So the arrows, that's a good question. At the top, I have those in here under this little quick access toolbar, which is undo and redo. That's the undo and redo up here. Now these arrows here is just go back to where you were. That go back takes you to where you were. Go forward takes you forward to where you were before, So let's go back or go up. Go up always takes you up a level. So so right now we're in another new folder, which is in this new example folder. If I go up, it'll take me into the desktop. It'll go all the way back. If I go up one more time, it'll take me up to this Jeremy. That's the go up, which is Alt up arrow. So again, if I go to right here, Power BI reports, and Alt up arrow takes me back to desktop. That's these arrows. It's just go back or go forward. It just takes you back to where you were previously. But that's different than Control Z, undo, and Control Y, redo. The undo and redo actually will undo those deletes, which it's the only place you can undo a delete is inside the File Explorer, just so you know. Okay, what other questions do you all have? Go ahead, take yourselves off of mute. I'll stop recording so that way you don't have to be shy. You're here.